Yo, what's poppin'? It's Tommathan, and I'm here to tell you everything that happened in the first day of Overwatch League Season 6 free agency, starting with the people who were dropped. So first up, Houston Outlaws dropped Lastro, LA Gladiators dropped Shu, Dallas dropped Fielder, Fearless, and Chio, and Chio's the only one of these five, because these are the only ones who got dropped. Most people already got dropped. But these guys are the five that didn't. Chio's the only one that does not have a team as we know right now for sure. But the leaks that were right about Fielder should probably be right about Chio because they were kind of moved together. So I'll talk about where he is at the end probably as well. But I'll talk about these guys more once we get to where they actually are. So starting off with Houston. Who did Houston pick up? Houston picked up Pelican still. He remained with the team. I guess that's not really the first day free agency. It happened yesterday. But anyway, Pelican still with the team. Now they also have Fearless and Shu. So their team, Pelican, Fearless, and Shu as your beginning core is insane. Absolutely insane. The only support who was an MVP nominee in Shu, the Grand Finals MVP in Fearless, and Pelican, who's just been a very core member of this team, top 5 flex DPS probably, maybe just outside if you're really stingy. And it's just a great core to start off with, right? You can't get better than Shu. Every single person was going after Shu crazy. You have to think she was got an absolute bag. And honestly, like that's a fantastic core. It's a fantastic core to start with. I have no doubt that they will continue to put in absolute unreal talent to this roster because that your starting core of that is bonkers. It's bonkers, right? Pelican can do all the flex DPS stuff. People talk about his tracer. I think his tracer's still good. I wouldn't mind if they brought in someone like Venom or a different kind of tracer specialist to kind of take that pressure off of him. Also helps for a Genji tracer meta or something like that. Let Pelican play what he's best at. So I would like to see that in the future for them. Of course, we don't know who their hit scan is. Maybe their hit scan has a sick tracer. Then we don't have to worry. Who knows? But still, you got to play tracer hit scan sometimes. So regardless, I'd like to see another tracer with Pelican, but he's good enough by himself. For just the amount of talent this team has and how much I think they're spending, it doesn't make sense to skimp out on anything. If there's anything you're questioning slightly, I think you invest on it. In terms of Fearless, he's the best Winston, but you're going to need an off tank with him 100%. 100%. You need an off tank from somewhere. I don't know who. There are a lot of off tanks available still, but Fearless is the best Winston you can find, right? He's the best Winston you can find. You're not going to have any problems with Fearless. The potential is undeniable. In a Winston meta, he is your guy. They are done. Even though they're just done not having a perfect Winston. Dante was good enough to get them third. They want first. If you have Fearless, you're getting first. He proved that. He's that guy, right? He's that guy. And then Shu, the best Ana in the league, I think, from last season. You can argue Fielder. I think Shu, when he had everything, all the resources put in him, he enabled the Gladiators 2 tournament wins. This is a winning fucking roster. This is a winning pickup. Pelican, 1 Rookie of the Year. And then in terms of team awards, she won 2 tournaments. Fearless won the grand finals. He won the whole thing. You can't ask for a more winning team. This is an insane pickup. Houston's looking great. Houston's looking fantastic. Next up, we have Boston. We know the entire roster, or we know at least the core of the roster. Your DPS are Striker, Decay, and Birdring. Your tank is Smurf, and your support line is Izayaki Lee Jae-gon. So let me break this down for a second. The DPS line, Striker, Decay, Birdring. You can have some question marks. I think they're somewhat valid. You can have Birdring coming off of a year of play. He did look really good in the Legends tournament, but that's not the same level as Top of Owl. But I think personally, my opinion on Birdring, I think he'll be just fine to jump back in. It's not like he took a step back from gaming. He just wasn't playing Overwatch, or in Overwatch League at least. So I think I don't have a problem with Birdring stepping in. I'm sure he will be a very good player, at least A tier minimum. Right, he's at least above average. Then you have Decay and Striker. Now, there are some question marks around them as well. Striker, back on Boston. He went Boston Shock. Boston Shock. Shock. Oh, wait, Boston Shock. Boston Shock. Boston Shock? Boston? I maybe too many things about it. Either way, he's going back and forth between the two teams. He's back here. I don't know, something about it. There is new management. It's a whole new organization, basically, just with the same name. And if Striker was like, you know what, I can play with Smurf, which I think is kind of what he said. He said, oh, I get to play with my favorite player, my favorite teammate. So Smurf has that kind of pull where Smurf can just bring people in. He's that good. He's that good of a leader, and that is something that I think Decay will really, really help with. He is not the leader in the room for sure. It is Smurf. Smurf is the leader of this team. It's undisputable. He's that guy. You give them a nice leadership role in Smurf. You have him. He's still a star player to me. He still has shown that he is that good. He just hasn't had the team around him. He hasn't been properly built for success. I know you can say, oh, well, Washington had a lot of good players around him. All that stuff. They also had Supreme Coaching, who's still on this team, but as an assistant GM. See, that's the difference. The coach of this team is actually Dong-Soo, who was the assistant coach with Moon back on Shanghai from 2019 to 2021. So hopefully he's learned something from Moon and he will be able to step in as a head coach and do really well. And then you have Pre-Supreme as your GMs, who both are very well regarded as, very good people persons. You know what I mean? Like they know how to manage a team and make the team happy and have a good environment and all that stuff. And as long as Supreme's not actually doing the tactical stuff, he's not the main coach guy, I think that's perfect. I think it is perfect. Probably why you get the K here. Maybe even why you get most of these guys here, because Pre and Supreme has had a lot of good things said about them, despite Washington not really having it fully together at all ever under Supreme. But I'm not worried about it. I'm not worried about Supreme as an assistant GM. If you think a team's going to fail because of the assistant GM, I think you got to give a head a shake. It's not going to happen like that. It's definitely not going to happen like that. But anyway, looking at the actual gameplay, the roles, the compositions they can play, I think Striker fits these guys really well. You can play an effective Tracer Genji comp. I wouldn't trust Birdwing on Tracer too much at this point. The Tracers have just gotten better and better, and Tracer was never really his thing. So I think having that option is really good. I think if you don't, Decay can play hit scan, so I think double hit scan would probably fall under Decay Birdwing, but you never know. Maybe Striker plays for the position. Striker has been proven to be pretty good on Reaper. So you have a good Reaper there too. You don't have to worry about, maybe Decay Birdwing aren't that great on it. Striker has the fundamentals to do that and everything like that. So I think the only question you can have is, maybe you don't trust Decay to play May or Echo or something like that. I think you'll be fine with it, personally. I am probably too big of a Decay sympathizer than most people, but I think the DPS core of this team is pretty good. I think you have the right amount of people. I think you have some good high-level talent here. And I'm just happy that Birdwing's back in the league, is my biggest thing. Now, looking at Smurf, DPS role star. He can play everything. He's the best solo tank in the league. The only other competition is someone really proven to be, at least. And he's Smurf. You can't go wrong with Smurf. He elevates every single roster he's on. And I'm very excited to see Smurf. And these guys in their Boston uniforms looks a little weird because this is such a step away from what Boston usually is. But you know what? You get the new management, and that's the biggest thing. It's a new team identity. The identity of this team isn't going to be, we've tried to find some diamonds in the rough and get a bargain, and we're going to sneak our way into the top. No. These guys are here, and they're making a statement right away. We are good. We are that guy. You have to beat us. Like, we're not trying to beat you. You're trying to beat us. You know what I mean? And that's what this team just oozes confidence, right? Then you have the back line. Izzyaki, Lige gone. Now, Izzyaki, former role, or not even former role star, current role star, back-to-back, I believe, role stars. He still got it. Anyone who says he doesn't, he got it. His breaks have been fantastic. His Zen's fantastic. Everything. Izzyaki still has it. Lige gone. He did take a bit of a step back in 2021, I think. But you have to keep in mind, main supports are very much, like, how good you perceive a main support to be is very much linked to how good you perceive a team to be. So Lige gone. Yeah, sometimes it felt like he was getting caught out. Yeah, sometimes there were things like that where you're like, I don't know, he's just not the same guy. I still think he played pretty well. I still think that Izzyaki Lige gone as a backline, you have the synergy there. You have it pre-existing, which is big. And I don't know. I think it's fine. Like, any replacement for Lige gone that they would have realistically gotten is probably not much better. You know what I mean? Like, you're not gonna, assuming you can't get like a Chio, you can't get Vindame, you can't get any of those big guys. Lige gone's probably top 7 Lucio's at worst still, and main supports in general. I don't know. I think that the backline's really good. Now, will this roster explode because you have 2 known or like perceived tilters in Striker and Decay? There's potential there. You do have to be a little bit wary about it. Wary about it. You got to be a little bit wary about it. But I think that this team, if you get a good system, you get Smurf to be your big guy. Everyone reports back to Smurf. He keeps everything in check because that's part of the intangibles of his game. I think it's fine. I think They have the right leadership to do this. Hopefully, Supreme and Pre do a good job keeping him happy. Hopefully, Dongsu as the head coach. He doesn't have any head coach experience, and he took a break from the game in the past year. So you can have question marks there for how much is he actually going to know Overwatch 2? Is he actually going to understand what his team needs to do to win? We'll see. Assistant coaches can help with that, which they haven't announced any yet. So I don't know. I'm really hyped for this Boston roster. I've talked so much about it, but this is the biggest, just out of left field. Nobody in the world had this one. Nobody. This came out of nowhere. Absolutely insane. I'm very hyped to see what this new Boston has for us. I am ready. Now, Vancouver. They have announced some big pieces. So they've kept Aspire. We've known this for a while. They also have Punk, Faith, and Crimzo. They have brought over the Boston Uprising. And one more thing they've done is they have said, where is the tweet? Our transformation is almost complete after Crimzo. So presumably there is one more player from Boston to pull over, and they've already pulled over Baroy, the head coach, right? So that leaves, to me, I'm thinking Seeker comes in. Seeker is pretty good to be with Aspire. I think he is definitely taking a back seat to Aspire, but I'm all for it. Aspire can go on the Tracer then maybe, or you have a really good double hit scan. I think it's fine. And then who their flex DPS is, I don't know. I'm thinking a Sam or a Nero is what I'm leading towards right now. I think Sam might go with Toronto because they're supposed to be American Tornado. So I'm thinking Nero would fit in well here. Nero would be good. I don't know who else you want to put in. They can go Korean too. Faith is already here. They can be Korean. And maybe it's Valentine. Maybe it's not Seeker. And maybe it's Valentine they're bringing out. They're just running it back on Boston completely. I kind of doubt that, though. I think Seeker is more likely. But this team is pretty cool. At least they have some good personalities. Crimzo has been an absolute gem the entire time in the league on the Zenyatta specifically. He's had insane statistical performances, insane like visual impact performances that you can feel whenever he hits the lobby. Punk, everyone loves Punk. Just an all-around good guy. Hopefully he's finally able to not like he's the main guy for this team, hopefully, and he won't be constantly having to fight back against the management. Like he won't have to fight back against the management for his spot with Lori constantly trying to rotate him out of the lineup, trying to find some way to kick him out. That's at an end. Punk is here to stay. I would like a main tank with him, but at the same time, I feel like Punk could develop into a solid one tank, all-rounded tank. I mean, the Punky, you can question the Punky, I guess, but I think he'll be fine. Even if he's the only tank, I prefer him to get, a main tank partner. But if push comes to shove and they can't quite get it, and they don't want to, sacrifice whatever you have to sacrifice to get a good main tank, I'm open to Punk being your only tank. Now, there would be a question mark there, but I'm open to the possibility. And then Faith, I think, has been very underrated from a lot of people. Boston fans specifically, a lot of Boston fans really praise Faith, and they think he's one of the best parts of the team. Maybe the best part of the team from last season. I think it was Crimzo, but Faith has an argument, He's very underrated. I think he's very good. And he 100% deserved another shot. So the fact that it's with these Vancouver guys, or these Boston guys, they probably vouch for him. And if Punk and Crimzo are vouching for him or whatever it is, however he gets here, I'm all for it. I think it's cool. I like the mixed roster thing. I'm ready. I'm hyped. This team's going to be cool. It's going to be more fun than last season, I think. And it's still going to be the Aspire carry show. Don't get it twisted. Aspire's still going to be the forefront guy, and he is a good player to build around. He's a very talented, great NA talent, perfect guy to build around. I think this is great. And now, the final two. We have the LA Gladiators welcoming Lastro. So right now we know LA as Kevster, Lastro, and Funny Astro. I do think it's funny you get Funny Astro, Lastro on the same. You get the Astro backline. I'm a fan. I think it's cool. But the thing with Lastro is you're going from shoe to Lastro, 100% a step down. I think Lastro has shown to be really good with his flexibility. He can play flex support. He can play main support. I don't know. I feel like Gladiators is not the team I would have put him on, though. Because if he's here to play your Lucio and your Brig, right? Funny Astro can do that. So you have Funny Astro can't really play the double flex support. So to me, if you were going to do this, I would have expected. I guess it makes sense. No matter what, you were going to get a real main support if Lastro is going to be your main guy. I don't know. I'm a little conflicted about this one, evidently. I do think he deserves another spot in the league. I think that the flexibility is very important. But I would like to see them get another flex support also, still. Because I don't. If you get a BAP Zen meta, are you putting Funny Astro on the BAP? Is that a thing that he has? In a while, at least, if he has done it, he hasn't done it now. If I'm wrong, let me know if I'm wrong, of course. But I don't, to my knowledge, he hasn't. So I'm interested to see what this is. I do like Lastro on flex support mainly, but having that ability to go over to the main support is important, and maybe they value that, and I'm all for it. I'm okay with this. It's always going to feel a little bit weird. No matter who this is, they have big shoes to fill, right? Big shoe to fill. And Atlanta has Fielder. This is also where Chio is rumored to go. I'm surprised they didn't announce that yet if Chio got released, but whatever. It's very scary because Atlanta, we already see Lip, Stalker, Hawk, Vigilante, Fielder, and presumably Chio. Not official, but presumably Chio. The scary ass team. Now, again, you can question Gator head coach. You can question Hawk as the only tank. Both very valid, but this team, the all-star potential on every other role other than tank. And even then, Hawk was a very good tank. Hawk was a very, very good tank, I think, for Atlanta. It's there. These guys have talent. These guys have talent. No matter what. Your double flex support is Fielder Vigilante. Insane. You could argue that Vigilante has the potential to outplay Fielder on some heroes. You can. Zenyatta, maybe? I would suggest Zenyatta is perhaps something that Vigilante could outperform Fielder on. Like, that's stacked. It's stacked. And that's just looking scary. So what I'll do is I will show you. This is everything that's confirmed right now, currently. This is everything confirmed. What we have the Boston roster, which I don't think they'll add anything. There's potential maybe, but I don't think they'll add any pieces, at least right now. Maybe a second flex support, but I think Lee Jae-gon could go onto the BAP because you want Izayaki on Zen anyway in those kind of comps. So I think you're okay if you don't. Atlanta, if this is Chio, the only thing you could say, oh, maybe they should get a main tank. And it's true, maybe they should get a main tank. But if they don't, they don't. You know, I don't think... I kind of think Hawk can do it. His Winston wasn't great, but it's possible. We have Sparkle is probably Dallas. This one isn't properly confirmed, but he's appeared in a lot of promos for the upcoming match against Shock on the 26th. They're doing a show match with their new rosters. So expect announcements soon for both of these teams because they have to do it before the 26th. Or maybe the 26th will be the announcement. They'll be like, if you want us to come see our new rosters, come check out our show match at this time. Everyone will pull up. Maybe they're doing that. That'd be cool. Then you have Florida. Checkmate Merit, someone Rupal. I don't know what their next move is. They did tease a Tracer and a Lucio in their Merit post. But I don't know if there is some possibility that the length of the blur doesn't matter. If it does matter, then it's like Bliss and Top Dragon would be my guess. But if the blur doesn't matter and it's just there because why not? Who knows what they're doing? They're Florida. London have these guys confirmed. Sparker, nowhere to be seen yet. Little concern for them on that part, but I can't see where else Sparker would go. Maybe Gladiators is the only thing, but they're rumored to get Kai, so who knows? Houston has a very scary core, as I talked about. Gladiators core. Interesting. I think Funny Astro Kevster are really good. Lastro feels like a step down from Shio, but unless you were getting like a Twilight or something like that wasn't taken because like Fielder's gone, Izayaki's gone, Shio is gone, so Vigilante is gone. The next one up is like, where's Twilight going? You know, Twilight. I would have liked Twilight there more than Lastro for that kind of example. Creative Iris, probably same par as Lastro, so I'm not too stressed about that part. Philly have their DPS core. They were rumored to be trialing Mag, so there's that. Shock have these guys. Now Shock been going crazy on Twitter. Proper got rid of his Shock stuff, so did Violet. Finn was posting weird cryptic images. I just anticipate, a lot of O2 Blast guys jumped in Max. He's saying, I don't know what main support. Oh, the main support leak is Vindame, so there's that for Shock. Toronto's supposed to be American Tornado and Majed, which is interesting. Aspire already talked about how I believe this will be Seeker coming through, and then maybe a Nero. And then the rest of these guys, I couldn't tell you. Washington's had some weird trials, including like 2U, some EU guys, stuff like that. Apparently, most of the stuff that I'm talking about is from Leak Mafia or Yiska. So those are my two guys that I trust with the leaks the most. But they can still get things wrong, of course. So anyway, this has been a pretty eventful first day of free agency. I did do a stream on it. I was doing it live, playing some Overwatch and stuff. So tune into that next time, I guess. If I do one, maybe not tomorrow because I'm going on a plane if it doesn't get canceled, but all that stuff. I don't know. Whatever. Let me know your thoughts on anything you care about down below. How good do you think Boston's going to be is my biggest point of interest. It's hard to tell without the people around him, but looking at this team, they have some real potential to be scary. They have some potential. So yeah. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Let's video if you like and subscribe for more Overwatch League content, and have yourself a good one. Deuces.